Welcome to Team Effort. Today's topic is how you're using Slack wrong, or why you're probably using Slack correctly, but this title sounds better. Hi, I'm Morten from Hyperreactive. Today we're going to talk about how to use Slack correctly. It can be a great tool, but also a huge attention drain if not used correctly. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. As always, you can read even more about this topic in the article linked in the description below, where you can also subscribe to our newsletter. This time around, the article contains summaries of the most beloved and most hated features of Slack for you to make up your own mind. Slack is a great tool, but with a great tool comes great responsibility. If you're using it wrong, it can be a huge time and especially attention drain, constantly interrupting your work. Here's a list of things not to do and what to do instead. Don't use Slack to discuss important things. Slack is great for casual conversation, inspiration, and reminders. It is, however, a terrible place for in-depth debates about features or development issues. Instead, keep your important discussions somewhere easily visible relative to the item in question. If you're discussing a Jira ticket, put all relevant information in the comments thread in Jira, not on Slack. If you're discussing your development strategy, coding standard, branching conventions, etc., make sure to document all these things in a relevant place and record all conversation there. You might discuss things on Slack referring back to the document in an external place, but remember to keep an FAQ or similar next to your document, recording all these important discussions. Don't have notifications turned on all day while working on something else. It's easy to just have Slack running all the time in the background, either as a standalone app, a PWA, or just in a tab with notifications enabled, but it'll constantly distract you with pop-ups. As one writer calls it, death by 1,000 pings. It'll give you a buzz every time you get a notification from Slack and you want to check it out instantly, but this will only kill your concentration. Instead, make sure to have a culture where Slack is an alternative to email, not an instant messaging tool. Sometimes it will be instant because you both happen to be online, but most times it won't. Don't expect colleagues to be always available, and neither should you be. Also, turn off notifications when you're off work. No need to also stress about work while not working. Don't notify everyone. Please don't message at channel to inform your team there's cake in the kitchen or you're taking the test server offline. That's not what @channel is for. Instead, use Adhere for such purposes. Adhere notifies everyone online right now about your message. Everyone not online in the channel at this point won't see this message highlighted, and rightfully so, because those messages aren't relevant tomorrow or even in an hour. Make sure to reserve @channel messages for important announcements that are as relevant now as they are when John comes back from Malibu in 2 weeks. The biggest problem with logging in and seeing hundreds of notifications across channels is prioritization. You never know what's more important and what's just a cry for help only relevant last week. Don't get hooked. Slack is a drug. It's crazy fun, bordering on addictive. GIFs, custom animated emojis, reactions, and all the other easy interactions make talking on Slack a really fun time. But try to keep it to your breaks. Treat Slack like a slightly more work-focused Facebook or Instagram. It's something you do in your breaks, not your primary work routine. Don't use Slack for huge communities or ambitious open source projects. You'll quickly hit Slack's limits for the free version, and paying the $5 per month per user fee is of course not an option for neither thousands of people nor an open source community. Instead, use a tool such as Adhere, as they're much better equipped for this kind of usage. Not as smart, not as integrated, and not as well known, but very functional nevertheless. Slack is great, I love it. I've used it in dozens of teams, still use it in many contexts, several of them not work related. But be very aware of Slack's shortcomings and don't overuse it, and then you'll probably be fine. This brings me to the question of the day. What's your best tip for using Slack in your dev team? Please give your answer in a comment below and feel free to tag it like this. Finally, remember to like and subscribe for more content like this. We'll be posting new content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so make sure to stay updated. When you follow the link below to the in-depth article, you can also sign up for our newsletter on all things relevant for modern web development teams. Keep coding and thanks for watching.